just want to play what we want to play. They're not in any way respecting counter picks, taking Rumble into Gnar.
We want to do damage to you. We don't really care about CCing you because the best CC is Death, as the Grand Entrance is going to be escape from there, but Mata has to use his flash. There's now Death, lots of damage. Yeah, only a couple more auto attacks, and he's dead. Nope. It is at least going to be the Battle Dance helping things out. Pawn over to the side.
Provide a lot, so maybe a bit more insight into why they want the Rumble route.
Or maybe it's just that Smeb really didn't want to play it as Beyond. He's going to flash into the Cocoon, but Pawn not going to get hit by that one. Teleport has been brought out as KT move everyone to the mid lane. And now Beyond is more than dead. So much damage. First blood goes to Smeb. It's a party. KT just wanted to have everyone involved.
And that's probably the value of Corki if he's forced to stay in the mid lane. So maybe trying to crash a side lane turret and rotate the Corki to a side lane might be the way for MVP.
Well, Mata is in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have the wild growth just yet as the heal is coming through. They're trying to get the kill, and Max is going to pick it up and battle dance out, and that's just a 2 versus 2 kill.
At level
MVP
5, it's a damage rotation. Obviously no kill pressure from full health for ADD. Skarner's still around top side, and okay, he's going in. There's the flash.
Yeah, the pineapples are down now as there's the flash impale. Not a lot you can do to try and get out of the way of that one, ADD, and Score is going to pick up the kill. That's the power of Skarner. You feel pretty bad when you're trapped in that ultimate.
And AD was Shroud, so actually an easy item to build that we know he'll go there eventually. Finally, the bottom turret goes down, but here's the answering attempt.
Yeah, I have a feeling ADD is going to be in a lot of trouble as Mato's just tanking up the turret. The Impale comes in and just dragged up the pineapples and taken down. Feels like a little Nicky reference, Papa Smithy, as that looked brutal. Get yourself a bit of a cute little stun, but you're right, not a lot of options.
Pretty situational nowadays, not the perma-slow of before either. Okay, teleport coming in, and this is equalizer territory.
Yeah, Score looking for the Impale once again as Beyond the Spider caught, but he's just going to blast cone his way out. That was stunning. An MVP going to be able to easily escape. Thought that he was trapped well and truly there. Got himself over.
You heard the Skarner laugh come off as he attempted to suppress, but now after the changes and normalization of the ultimate, because of the blast cone getting him out of AoE, the suppression doesn't go off, and Skarner not able to claim his victory.
Was able to claim the Crystal Spire, though, and should be able to get themselves the Rift Herald as well, as Mata's just wizard wanding. Herald as there's the flash impale. Another equalizer comes in. They've got walls everywhere as Max is just going to evaporate now. Mata looking for the flash, gets in there, finds her slow, Beyond slowed as well. We said hard CC was a problem, but the soft CC certainly there for KT as they're taking a lot of damage. Smeb has the heal from Depth though, who's still chasing after Ian, and they're so low on the side of MVP, but it's
not really see a teleport ward for him to jump on. Sure, they exist, but with how the fight was going, Mini Gnar teleporting in would just have been an extra kill over to the side of KT Rolls.
Well, speaking of an extra kill, could potentially find one here as ADD's stunned up. Pawn gets the flick back as well. Just scooped in. That's going to be the flash, but I have a feeling he's not going to escape as Mata is on his way down, and Mega Gnar not going to save him from that. So Score grabs his 3rd kill of the game and sticks on to 100% kill party.
Never heard of that.
It's fast and it's fun, Papa Smithy.
I think it's a past tense thing.
Well, so are the KT members waiting in this brush because that's an exploded Mata. Impale does come in. Beyond is able to get up there though as Pawn wants to find the flick. Lots of damages. There's the flash out of the way of the Gnar, and Beyond is just going to burn down on the equalizer. I thought he might actually escape, but doesn't happen. Now Ian has to flash, but the harpoons landing from Smeb. Thankfully the Valkyrie's there to get him out to safety, and that's going to be a 1-for-1. KT are able to answer back.
A flash Valkyrie, no less, though, Atlas. It looked like it was a flash from Smeb, but on inspection, just trying to get the maximum amount of distance away was Ian. So that means flash down on 4 members of MVP. No one will be able to walk up to this Cloud Drake. Easy claim for KT Rolls. Works, but that's, for some reason, I haven't seen so much of the Skarner-Xayah interaction in competitive play or in my solo queue games, Atlas.
Really? You didn't see that back in 2014 when Skarner was last played here in the LCK? There's a big Gnar on the bottom side, as there's the wallop onto Pawn as well. Mata's making his way down, but Max is here as well, evening out the odds. Beyond and Maha a little bit too far away. So I can understand the thought process. Weaver's Wall going to come in though. They're looking for Maha, has to flash, get himself out of the way.
Didn't want to find out if he maybe bounced the wrong way or not. That was looking. Waiting for a face check, not getting one yet, but a lot of damage from Deft.
Yeah, I think that's why the rapid fire cannon came in. Maha took so much damage. There's going to be the slow. He's not even going to use the Impale, doesn't need it, and that's just too easy. As soon as Featherstorm's done, one of those players. He likes a build, he likes a build. As Mata and Deft waiting to try and get a flank in here. Only 3 versus 2 as Beyond takes a lot of damage, but in comes Smeb. Wants to find the equalizer, really good position. As Maha has to just walk all the way down, it takes half his health bar, and in comes Pawn. There's the flick, and it's going to be avoided by Maha, but the ultimate not doing a whole lot of damage as KT have them about where they want, and Beyond's going to be the first one to go down as Deft is at full health. Not a lot of mana, but he just needs the auto attacks to make things happen. There's the scoop onto ADD. He's going to have his own scoop back, but it's the double kill for Deft, as they now have 2 on the board and haven't lost anyone.
Such a pleasure to have the 2 best Rumble players in the world playing this week. So Marin yesterday lighting up the Rift, and Smeb so smart. He knew exactly where they had to go, and understanding how a fight will play out seconds beforehand is what you need for equalizer positioning. Had the equalizer overheating to control space on the outside as well. This time the smite is down, and this time it'll be Baron for KT Rolster.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic flanking play there as well, because with Pawn making his way in at exactly the right time with the Weaver's back pocket. This is a very, very strong Kog'Maw. 3 items, no matter what you've got. It's pretty ridiculous. He's now tanking up the turret. In goes Max. The flash had to be used there. Gets Pawn out of the way. Deft uses his at the same time. Both carries now without that defensive option.
Trying to make a hard engage while Smeb and Score were bot lane, but get some summoners and a QSS, but nothing else.
Okay, he gets walloped. Now smacked against the wall. Smeb might want to try and find himself a turret. The Score is able to tank up everything. There's the Weaver's wall in. Gets himself out. Should be fine, and KT just utilized this to move back towards the mid lane. They have all of the vision, inside track, so these inner turrets should fall relatively easily. Good knock up there as Deft should be in trouble, almost able to respond as ADD's in trouble. In goes in. It's a double kill now for Maha, as MVP are fighting back nicely, and that will stall this Baron play out. Nice.
Yeah, mistake from Score. He didn't notice the QSS was completed onto Honor, and alone can struggle trying to get the picks he wants in the late game. We'll have to adjust target selection now.
Looks like Deft thinks that he's a diver. Here's the teleport. Big flank coming in from ADD.
He's got
a
exactly
good
right. Though.
Yeah, great position. Smeb's going to move himself over. He is in vision, though, as ADD moves himself towards the backline. Gets the jump in as Deft's in trouble. Ian picks up that kill. It's another good equalizer as Ian's just going to melt to death. Smeb grabs it. Look at the AoE. My God, KT are ripping them up. It looks like he can kill the Kog'Maw, but who cares? Smeb's just got the damage himself. Pawn there at the same time. There's the flick onto the Gnar. And KT, they leave one alive, but Beyond has to slink back to the base.
Yeah, Kog'Maw's AoE true damage as Smeb and Pawn.
That was what that was.
Were putting on consistent damage themselves. It was really a triumvirate there, Atlas, because it was a lot of
Acathian surprise.
It was, and a lot of threaded volley damage from the Taliyah as the Rumble came in overheated was the big story. They found consistent damage even when Kog'Maw was the first one to go down. The magic resist purchases are there for MVP, but sometimes just the accumulation of damage on the side of KT the damage. So even though things go about as great as expected for MVP, they get access to the backline, they delete the Kog'Maw. It doesn't matter.
Well, Weaver's Wall is going to get KT towards this bottom side. Equalizer, unfortunately, not going to do anything, but that's going to be the flick back onto ADD. Gets himself into the Mega Gnar, but now KT, the cavalry has arrived, and they'll have to trade top laner for top laner, at least, assuming Score can deal with this. There's the fadeaway jump shot as far as the Living Artillery is concerned to finish off that kill.
Yeah, trying to leave the kill for
the Baron. Waiting for MVP to have to split themselves up.
And also waiting for the Rift Scuttler's timeout, because that was giving permanent vision. Here's the Weaver's Wall, catches Beyond.
Yeah, has to use his flash to get himself out of the way. Living Artillery actually there, and Deft almost grabbing himself a kill. And lots of damage, but Deft answering that one back. Mata saying, get back here. Walking the dog.
Now the Rift Herald, so the Rift Scuttler vision is gone. Now they know that Beyond has had to go to base, so even with the information, she'll be able to DPS down Baron, free Baron to KT.
Yep. Oh, that was an optimistic rocket by Ian.
I wondered there for a moment.
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, when you can steal it with a Rakan Q, I feel like a rocket does more damage. Mata just accidentally took a hell of a lot of package damage. Now ADD jumps himself over to the side. Wild Growth has to be used on Smeb, who flashes himself out of the way. Max has to escape from the fighters. There's the equalizer, beautifully placed on top of everyone, and the Impale will get the pick off on the tanky Gnar. ADD falls down, and now KT will follow MVP back to their base.
Yeah, and when you're ahead like this, you can just suppress the frontliner and just kill the Gnar first. It means Ian and Maha will have less space. Smeb's just going to take free damage.
Yeah, he has to use the Zhonya's. Could keep himself alive. Good shields are there as well, but Maha unable to get the Blade Caller damage in.
Objectives to KT Rolster.
Yeah, but against the tide, MVP are able to at least have control of the bottom wave, and Smeb wasn't there in time to save that turret. But look at this! My god, that dragon is falling extremely fast. MVP, no opportunity to get in there. Didn't want to do that 4v5. Let them get themselves into a gnarable situation.
And they saw him with his rage bar, so good respect from
Whoa, Maha
KT.
taking so much damage. Featherstorm still available, Flash and Heal both up as well. So it's going to take a little bit more than that to deal with him, but that inhibitor does not last long, and they've got another one open towards the top side. Looks like KT will move over to.
Yeah, AD's in great position to transform, but knows that any transformation is going to be basically baiting his team into a fight he doesn't feel they can win. So hanging back, he has Flash, he has everything available, but does not pop the Gnar ultimate.
Oh god, Beyond taking so much. Okay, so Def just needs to get about 2 auto attacks, and everyone is going to melt. Based on what we have seen so far, ADD gets slowed down as Pawn actually flashes out of the way. Lots of respect from KT, understanding that things can turn very, very fast. Score wants to find Ian.
Boy.
My god! See, this is the danger. That was a Harpoon and an auto attack, I believe.
They've already learned they can't ignore Smeb and Pawn either. Pawn had to flash away. They're able to draw something, but so much damage on the side of KT.
So much damage on the side of MVP as well. I mean, you did bring our attention to that at the same time. Here's a potential fight. Redemption does come down as Maha, once again, having to get himself out of the way, uses the heal, uses the flash. Featherstorm was already on cooldown. And now KT situation. Still taking a lot of damage. Weavers will once again just going to be used pretty textbook now. Try and take down this turret. No one's over the wall. Def should be able to grab this. Easily done as ADD's in trouble. He got scooped back, and we said this. So much burst damage potential with this combination of champions. The threaded volley needs to be respected as Ian. One more auto will do it, but he has to flash to get out of the... Oh god, okay. That was an optimistic equalizer. Living Artillery not going to find him either. So Ian lives on a sliver of health, but look at this. There are super creeps moving towards the Nexus turrets, and KT maybe without some cooldowns, but they got pressure from everywhere.
Will Score actually look for an Impale as Flash and Righteous Glory up, but not using it. They're just looking to push the minion waves here. KT Rolster playing surprisingly restrained in this scenario.
Well, I mean, look at that. Smeb lost half of his health bar in an auto and a rocket from Ian. So minutes that we've been watching.
And that's kind of the weird thing, is there's a sense of dread, there's a sense of inevitability of a KT victory, although...
Well, Deft is actually going to get caught out. Beyond grabs that kill, and this could be the moment. Score going to flash his way out, just going to blast cone himself up into the sky, and now Pawn. Lots of damage, not a lot of health on the side of MVP's members, as KT still have 2 full health carries. Score looking to try and get himself in there as Smeb. Another beautiful equalizer as the Weaver's Wall comes in. Maha will get flashed on by Smeb, finds his way through, but my god, look at that damage. This is what we said as Pawn can't get autoed one more time by this Corki, who Valkyries forward, gets said auto, and now Score's going to fall down as well. Make that a triple for Ian, and MVP finally find that fight.
And also they find the fight before their Nexus turrets are taken down. They had just enough time to peel off. And take a lot of work from Ian, who has a lot of damage, but has to deal with so many different super minions. KT would have thought that if they bought enough time with a team fight, the minions would get the job done, but they may actually use Baron and not even take both of those turrets.
Well, they don't have Ian or Maha here to try and take down this Baron. It is taking a long time to die, and Ian is unable to actually take down the minions
This is probably the wrong decision from MVP if you think about it. Mata also is going to be a complete nuisance.
Yeah, he's just going to be frustrating.
He's trying to waste time. If they're using any damage to not finish the Baron, it's more headaches for the base.
All right, Little Ants doesn't do it, but that was so close.
You did wonder, Atlas.
Yep. We've seen crazier things. Gleaming Quill stole the Baron, Bubba Smithy, as there's a Nexus turret that is going to fall down. If you didn't kill the Cogmore, he would kill your whole team.
Still probably true.
Yeah. Oh, Maha has to use the Featherstorm. Deft still very healthy. Grand Entrance comes in, but the flash from Deft gets himself out of the way. He's all walking beautifully now as ADD looking to try and find a Gnar, but he's going down so low. Can't re-engage, and Score is even going to stay alive. Maha now can't get over the equalizer. Too much damage. Has to flash. There's now at least the Battle Dance is there from Max to give himself a shield. This inhibitor will fall down, but miraculously, no one is dead on either side.
Yes, so much damage comes in. Rain from both teams. The damage dealt to Champions Chart is going to be insane.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of this game, but all this stacked armor, health, magic resist. He's dying pretty damn fast.
Well, it's what happens to Ascon. I just feel like the scaling towards being an attempted super tank in the late game does become difficult. Or maybe that was just my experience, but Score does have a massive health bar. Now a potential Elder Dragon with 3 Drakes themselves, but MVP setting themselves up. They've even got a Zrot portal as well. Okay, MVP taking the aggro now.
Max in the back line. He has flash up. Remember, Def does not.
The old flanking Rakan trying to make his way through. There's the quickness.
They got
There's the entrance. Massive flick back from Pawn on the back end, but the equalizer's down. KT still looking for it as Deft. He's once again fallen down, but MVP now very, very low, and they're getting themselves into the pit. It is going to be on grabbing the Elder Drake, but can MVP actually make it out alive as they have the man advantage? Pawn, massive work in the back line as Beyond should die to this threaded volley, but it's actually going to miss. Score trying to look for him. Redemption comes in. Mardark not going to be able to grab it, but has set up the kill with that repel. As that falls down, Pawn grabs this as Smab has followed the massive creep wave towards this base, and with this many creeps, the Nexus not going to last long, and they're going to have a heroic battle against 4 members of KT, even though they've killed the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, the Super Minion's going to do the rest of the work. This should be game victory for KT. The fight was fought on behind her. This is a very squishy comp coming through from the side of MVP.
Repel will be available.
Trying to buy time and get Beyond top lane. Notice Score is level 4 to the level 3 of Beyond, though. It could be the turn.
Yeah, they're looking for the stun. They find the cocoon onto ADD, though, and Score has to flash himself out of the way. Good repel as Smeb gets himself over to the side, but Beyond should be able to find this one. Oh my god, the heal comes in, but First Blood still goes over to MVP, but Pawn's got the double buffs, and ADD is, able to get out with a hook shot. Nicely done. Actually skirts through the little Krugs as well with that one.
Ian not able to react, was trying to push a wave back out. Crucial factor, though, is the double buffs you mentioned as bot lane.
Yeah, Flash Flay coming out from Mata. Not a lot of mana left over as Deft can't quite get the auto attacks onto Maha underneath the turret.
2 potions and the double buffs. Now, use both summoners in the engage. There is a repeat gank option for Beyond. But when you're Nidalee Corki, your ganking mid lane synergy is not great. Bot lane.
Yeah, that's going to be the flash. The Ignite's already down as well as Mata's going to fall, but Maha's in trouble. Score gets himself over to Beyond, who's trying to dash his way out, but Max just keeping everyone alive. Spear is going to land there, but no aggression onto Deft, but he just cannot get the kills.
Early trades, while the action was happening top, it was actually Maha being zoned from a lot of the minions.
Now Pawn is looking for more. The double terrain composition from KT, demonstrating that you don't even need a Weaver's Wall. I don't know. I don't know either. ADD taking a bit of damage here. Score looking for the dive. Pawn's making his way up as well. The Camille will be struggling. Really good use of the ultimate, but still going to die as Pawn just flicks him back in to his threaded volley. Doesn't tank the turret until he's dead, at least.
Well, KT have the run of the top side, given that Camille is still a level behind, and they would love to kill her again.
Oh god, Weaver's Wall's going to come in. Cocoon's going to miss, but who cares? Ultimatum comes down as well. This turret is very, very low as they're just trying to hold on to the turret aggro onto Smeb. Score picks that one up. Pawn somehow always is the first one to get the aggro. Now Beyond can't go through the threaded volley, and despite hitting it pretty easily, the Titanic Hydra into Black Cleaver, into the Gargoyle Stoneplate, not necessarily in that order, as now Beyond is getting surrounded. And ADD is dead. That had to be a slam dunk. That felt like, you know, the real. You were talking about arcade games, right? It's like one of those really bad basketball arcade games, but it's for like the children. So that sort of slam dunk was like the adult just reaching over and putting the ball in.
I feel like all you can do about this game as it goes is make declarative statements. Like we're now making a record of fact. These are the things that happen. Corki died.
Corki definitely died. But how are you supposed to commentate that? Say all of the abilities that happened just then, before he died.
R, Q, E, Q, R, R.
Nice.
So they try and binary, 1, 0, 1. Yeah, KT starting to play with their food. Don't need to be taking this particular line. They could start the Baron and peel off. I think the teleport play starting, though.
That is a bit... All right.
You know you take a lot of damage when you die. He was dead.
Yeah. Oh, what would have been really cool is if the hook had then hit the guy behind him. Didn't happen. Baron is going to be the next option.
Look at the control ward line they have. They have a control ward line at 24 minutes of every brush on the way to the first camp in their own jungle.
And there's nowhere that they could even use a blast cone to get over. Oh my god. Free Infernal Drake, though, for MVP. The advantages that they're going to gain of multiplicative scaling of their damage stats is going to be incredible. Oh, really good blast going there as Smeb wants to get himself in. Cataclysm lands. There's the hook from Mata as he throws out the Dark Passage to no one in particular. It's going to be the Corki falling down. And Pawn grabs that kill.
So good at snowballing advantages early, and sure, they can mismanage them from occasion. But more often than not, you have games like this where they look worlds apart from their enemy, as Smeb might die anyway.
He might. Flags and drags his way out as there's a Cataclysm trying to do some work. Oh my god! Almost survived, actually, is deft with the Baron buff. Able to get some work done under this turret. Mild work. I say work, but I don't know. That's sort of like an internship. He wasn't paid much for that.
Unpaid internship.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it feels so bad, man.
Can't always teleport back in. He spawns in 30 seconds.
Arrow is going to land onto Max, unfortunately. Grant exits the fight, and that is going to mean the last of that inhibitor turret. Keep adding pressure on the top side. Sparta and Pawn are a long way away.
Teleport's coming up in 10 seconds now, Atlas. That's why they won't stand up. They still have Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, it's going to come in. Maha actually caught himself behind, but does do a lot of damage. That's the inhibitor going down. KT will just back away.
Some words just sound amazing that I'm a big fan of, but...
Like inevitable?
It's a good word.
Oh, feels good. Spanakopter?
Excuse me.
Spanakopter.
You keep that to yourself.
It's a pastry. All right, there's Cataclysm. Maha does throw out the ultimate, gets himself out of the way with the flash, but that's no buttons left to keep himself safe. Good Cocoon lands onto Max. Arrow there as well, and that's the pick that they needed to continue this pressure. Inhibitor falls, second one of the game for KT, and they're not done yet. Minion wave moving towards this mid lane inhibitor turret. Deft is still just clearing minions. In goes ADD. The ultimatum goes down as Smeb just trying to keep himself alive. Stoneplate does exactly that, as now Deft has the consistent damage. Flash right in there. He's going to die immediately, though. That was a little bit overly excited. As in goes Pawn. Shoves them all back. So much damage. He's still alive. As ADD jumps forward. The flash. Unfortunate use of...
Pawn.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes Pawn is a god, Atlas.
Exactly. The threaded volley went in the wrong direction. Other than that was stunning. Oh, my God. Now KT should be able to just finish this one off. Max, of course, it's so early in this game that he's respawned again. Picks up Pawn, who almost got MVP until he just fed his life away underneath the turret here. Max is just being ignored by KT. Another day in the office for these guys as it's looking like the 2-0 over MVP. I want to apologize for the fact that we weren't really talking about much throughout the entire game, but that was because of the KT dominance that they were able to put out. That's an open Nexus that they're not
But the
hitting.
respawns are coming, Atlas. Too early in the game of Regions.
No.
We may have lost Rift Rivals. We still have the best fans. They know that there's no chance that MVP comes back in this game, Atlas. You can't convince them.
But what if they did? This is like the what if he makes the first jump? No one makes the first jump. No one survives that either, as Maha just explodes. Ultimatum comes in, but that's not the ultimatum you want. This is the partner giving out the ultimatum when the partner definitely wants to break up, okay? Like, this is exactly what KT wanted. That ultimatum, not so great, as now Smeb is playing with his food. The Nexus should fall down now, as hopefully my condition doesn't come back once again. Deft is here. He's got auto attacks, and there's a fountain still down. Okay, Deft, be careful. KT will be able to do it now, though. 32 minutes into the game, and MVP are flattened by KT. The Warpath certainly on once again, and no 3-game series this time.
Not this time, but a domination from KT Rolster, blowing away MVP in the early game. Another draft with these Nidleys that really makes very little sense. Went for the Camille last pick when they had no front line. Could have just gone for Jason, rolled all in on Poke, but went for the Camille split push. Camille ganked 3 times, was never going to do anything in the game. And KT, after being run a bit in the first game, where MVP made it competitive, kind of in spite of what the game could have been, blow away their opposition this time and jump up the ladder as well, as they're able to now run Samsung very close. They are now also 10-3, but Samsung Galaxy will play tomorrow and have the chance to move to 11-2.
Yep, Longzhu also up there at the same time, so KT still a little bit rough when it comes to the top of those standings, but getting a win over the bottom place team is something that's absolutely necessary, and the 2-0 is starting to become way more necessary as well, because we've seen the teams can drop games to these bottom 3 teams. BBQ was able to take one off of